so then the people see it?
Well, I've got a line. I'm live now.
Oh, well, try it. Do it anyway. Just do
Do
it.
it anyway?
Just do it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
Ready?
go ahead.
Okay.
There you go.
It worked.
Wasn't that fun?
I learned a new toy today.
You
Thank
did
you.
learn a new toy, and that's kind of fun because
Yes.
you can now do that. You would go hit live and then hit the little countdown, and then you could be in, your own thing. So now you have it.
Yeah.
Now you could also put your logo on there if you wanted to too.
No.
I know.
I know.
Look what's been happening since you've been off the air for a bit.
I've been off the air for a bit. Hello, everybody. Ginger Perrick, Healing Heart Medium, and I invited my friend Elias Patras along today to help out with my first live in quite some time. So just kind of help me talk about what I need to talk about and so on and so forth and yada, yada, yada. So I say hi to everybody. So hi, Angie. Good to see you. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. So Elias, how have you been?
I've been good. Some exciting news to share. We are going to cross our fingers and we're going to say that the book is going to be out in about 2 months. I have to take branding photos and two breaths in one. So I have to take branding photos, but I have, my life is not as it's been a little bit different this year, I have to say. And you have taught me such a valuable lesson about honoring every moment of life. You have, yes. And I don't know if many people know, but you were diagnosed with breast cancer. We had you and Lisa on my live, and you guys talked about that. So you were diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 1 in one breast and stage 2 in the other breast. And these markings that you have, those are part of what you're going through now, currently?
It's the radiation treatment. It's part of the radiation treatment that I'm going through. So, that was weird. My screen just went bloop, bloop. It's bloop, bloop. It is part of my markings. It's my target markings, where they line up these green lines on you. And they're my target markings that they use to aim away from my heart, and aim exactly where they're supposed to go. So there's more. I would get in trouble on, I would get in trouble. I showed you all my markings, but they're all over my chest, on the sides, I have them down the sides. I have them around, just so when they aim that radiation at you, they aim where they're supposed to aim, because they said they have to make sure they put it in the right place, because you can't take it back. And I said, well, that makes perfect sense. Once they shoot you with radiation, you can't take it back. Yeah. So
what is let's just back up a little bit. We're going to back up a little bit. So you got you're good.
Yes.
You got diagnosed. After you got diagnosed, very scary. I know we did talk about that. And then you got some positive news. You didn't have to go through chemo. You had to go through radiation.
Yes.
And it was, what did they say, 1%, Ginger?
The percentage of it coming back is 5%.
5%.
Which is fairly good for someone my age. And it's a 5% chance, which in 10 years, or I think it's 5 years, 10 years, something, it's a percentage that comes back within. I don't have my paper right in front of me, but 5% in 10 years, I think. So, yeah.
And that's excellent news. That is excellent news.
Yeah.
It's very, very helpful. the part that we want to bring up, because Ginger hasn't been on live in a while, is for many reasons. I mean, we're just going to state it. You have not been in a good place since this all happened.
No, as you know, I want to, by the way, hello, everybody that's popping on.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. You think you got it by the nuts or by the cojones or whatever. You think you got it. You think you have everything, but there's always it's that voice in the back of your head. But what if they didn't get it all? But what if it's someplace else? But what if they have to do more treatment? I'm not working. It's really quiet. I can't leave the house. I can't do anything. I couldn't lift my arms higher than like this for a month. Like I couldn't do personal things, in the care of the bathroom and having to depend on somebody. I've always been very, very, very independent. And I've always had a really, really difficult time asking for help. And that is one thing that this diagnosis has taught me, is that I have to reach out and say I need some help, or I have to reach out and just talk with people. It's difficult. It is difficult. And you do kind of go through this wave where one day you're really, really good and you're having everything great. And then the next day you wake up and you can't sleep at night because you can't turn over because your boobs are swollen from the radiation. And I'm a side sleeper, so I can't sleep on this side. I can't sleep on that side. I hate sleeping on my back. There's so much that goes on physically, emotionally, and spiritually that it's been tough. It's been tough.
Can you touch upon a few of those? Like, tell us, so physically, because I have never had radiation. I don't know what that feels like. And I know that there's some people on here that might be going through it or have gone through it.
Right.
And I'm not going to call anybody out unless they want to volunteer that information.
But, if I send you a picture, Elias, maybe you can put it up and we can show them.
Hey, Danielle and Copperhead Luna and Joanne and Raina. Did I say your name right? I hope so. Joanne and Diana and Beth Rogers and Chris. Good to see you guys. Isabel, Julie. Hello, everybody. Michelle.
So I think you have access to be able to put this up on the presentation part. I sent you the picture. See, never mind. Let me see if I can do it. Hang on just a second and I will answer all your questions. But I'm not saying these things to scare anyone. I'm not
you're making it real.
I am being honest and upfront about what the expectations are, because I didn't get told them. I didn't get a lot of things told to me. Is it we go under presentation, right?
Well, you go under
slides, and then slides, and then mic off of my computer. And then upload a file. Here we go. If I'm smart enough to figure this out, we'll be doing really, really good. Let me airdrop it. Anyway, I'll keep talking. You guys can see me still, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me airdrop this. I didn't get told a lot of things that they should have told me, if that makes sense. I didn't get, you get a booklet. Oh, looky there. Sometimes I'm just so smart. Now,
Danielle says, I know it's not to scare us, but to educate us. Yes.
Yes, I'm not doing this to scare anybody. I just want to do it to educate. So let me see. Oh, silly. It is, all right, let's try this again. Did I lose you? Oh.
No, I'm here.
Okay, good. All right, let's try this again from downloads. And let's see if it may not let me do this. Well,
so why don't you
another way to show you? Okay, we'll just
send me something.
I sent you a picture of what. So they don't tell you with all of this process. You get. I'm very, very. First of all, I'm very, very grateful for where I'm going to get my treatments. I'm very, very grateful for the doctors and the nurses and everyone that has taken care of me. But a lot of it is like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Oh, look at me! I'm all off kilter. But they give you a binder that covers all the different things that could go on during this treatment. And it's your
Mhm.
responsibility to read through the binder and then take those questions and ask those questions. And I read through the binder, but then when you have so much else going on and all the worry and the fear, and there is a lot of fear in it, and the worry and the fear and things going on in your head, you don't always remember to ask the questions when you're at the doctor's office, which sounds kind of funny because I drill everybody. I ask lots of questions, but I think some of the expectations weren't explained to me. So like getting the
Mhm.
radiation and what was going to happen during the radiation treatment and how long you were going to have to lay there and, where they were going to aim and what they were going to do. And I've been, and I kind of lost track of where we're going with this question. Oh yeah. See, that's what goes on. There's the little googly eye guy, and that's the radiation and x-ray machine. And you lay on that, and those purple things above the blue sheet, that's where your arms are up above your head, because they position you so as you're shooting the radiation at your breast, that it doesn't hit your heart, doesn't hit certain organs. So you have to lay completely, absolutely still. And it takes about a half an hour to do both sides. Thank God. Louise, my left side is done. I'm finished with my left breast. There's no more radiation on that side. And then I have 15 more treatments on my right side. So is anybody having questions? All this stuff. Let me see. Everybody's saying hi, hi, hi. You need a magic mirror, Elias.
Oh yeah,
Um,
those are really cool. I would like one.
yeah,
Oh
magic.
look, there's Liz. Liz Dawn Donahue.
Hi, Liz. So it's been, we were talking about the emotional side and some of the things that have
Right.
come up. I think the not knowing and the fear of what if. I mean, one of my questions to, I'm feeling emotionally. Oh, it's been interesting, Liz.
That's what
One
we
of my,
just asked, Liz.
yes.
Just yeah.
One of my questions I did ask my radiologist today, because it's in the back of my head, because it just like seems like it doesn't go away, because breast cancer is one of the, it's got the highest number of percentage of coming back of all the other cancers. So I asked my radiology oncologist today, do I need a PET scan? Do I need to be concerned? Do I need to worry about it? What are signs and symptoms of things I have to look for? I'm not even finished with this yet. I'm already 6 years in the future trying to think of, I don't want this to come back. I don't want this to
Right.
come around again. So now yesterday I had a horrible day. Yesterday I was feeling sorry for myself, and I was, I'm on short-term disability right now because it's just a lot. Even getting out in the heat here in Arizona is a lot, because your boobs feel sunburned from the inside out. I don't know how other way to explain it. It's like if you get a bad sunburn, and that burn you feel is what it feels like, but it's inside out. If so, I was, I haven't been able to work, which I miss. I love my job and I miss it horribly.
And Ginger's a nurse, if
Yes.
anybody
Yeah.
didn't know that. So go ahead.
And I love my job, and I love taking care of patients. And then I haven't been able to really go anywhere. So I'm kind of housebound. And then, my husband, poor guy, he's been going and doing and taking and going, and doing all this stuff. And I can't really even leave the house except for like a doctor's appointment, maybe to the grocery store or something, because then I just get tired. The radiation makes you tired. It makes you sleepy. And then you just come home. And so yesterday was not a good day for me, because I was so down, because I was thinking, I'm going to hold myself together on this one. I
You're
was
okay.
thinking, I've hit a wall. I've hit a wall. I can't, everything was going so good for me. My business, my work, I was out and about. I was doing all kinds of things. And then bam, everything came to an absolute screeching stop. And I've been dealing with that emotionally. So
Right.
you have these ups and downs, and I really don't care how freaking good you think you are as controlling your emotions. I'm pretty strong. I think I'm pretty strong, and but my human gets in the way of that. My human gets in the way.
Right.
And I don't say my human recognizes all these things that are going. My spiritual part of me is like, keep going, keep strong, but my human will get into the way of things. So, let's see who else saying stuff.
So take a look what Raina says and what Julie says.
It seems
Go
as
ahead if
though
you
a
want
lot
to.
of information isn't offered unless you ask. Unfortunately, we don't know what to ask and we have to rely on one another. Oh, I read a lot of Facebook, invasive ductal carcinoma Facebook page stuff, and I take all of it with a grain of salt. You know what? Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, what's this? So, and then Julie's, my husband, has breast cancer, one of his 5 bouts with cancer. Shoot, I'm sorry. And before they became more experienced with radiation, given less than a 5% chance of survival rate, they over radiated his shoulder and eventually losing his left arm, but survived and enjoyed many more years. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, I'm not fond of the radiation. Who would be, and it's a kind of an x-ray machine that does that radiation for you. And then they want you to put Aquaphor. This is probably too much information, but
No, go for it.
wants you to keep the skin on your breast that is being radiated moist so that the chance of the burn is less. Well, putting Aquaphor on me, okay, but it's a petroleum base. So my little herbalist
Right. Yep.
aromatherapy brain said, I really don't know that I want to be putting petroleum distillates on my breast. I would never put it on a sunburn. I would never ever go out and buy a thing of Aquaphor to put it on a sunburn. I've used it on tattoos when I've had them years ago, but I would never actually, which is kind of a skin burn anyway, but I would never really put it on a sunburn. So I got busy and I did a whole bunch of research and I came up with a recipe and I told my radiologist today, my radiology oncologist today, think I'm trying this and here's what I'm doing. And is that a yes or a no? Telling me, can I do it? Can I not do it? So I found some calendula oil and I put that on all over first, just lather myself with calendula oil. I let that soak in. You're not supposed to have any alcohol-based products at all. Everything has alcohol in it. And then I got some aloe vera gel that was pure without alcohol in it. I found that at Sprouts and I put that all over and let that soak in. And then I blended some coconut oil, unfractionated coconut oil, and some lavender because lavender is a histamine blocker. It helps with inflammation. It helps with sunburn. It's a pain. It helps with pain. And I blended all that up and I put that all over. So I smelled really, really good.
Right.
And it works. It works.
So here's a really important piece for everyone.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. And when you are afraid to ask a question, even if it makes you feel silly or like I'm not sure. I mean, Ginger's in the medical field and she's still asking the questions. She does believe in all alternative type medicine and everything. So think about gathering your input. Don't hide. Don't hide. I mean, look, Ginger's not hiding her radiation markings. And again, for the people that she's hiding some of them.
Some of them, yes.
But these again are so they know when to, where not to, where your organs are and everything else, right? I want to ask, because Ginger told me, but I want you to know, I'm going to try not to get emotional. I want you to know what's the word? The chutzpah, the oomph that you have and the strength that you have. So Ginger was on a weight loss journey and she was doing the weight loss journey and then she had to get off of the
injectable, the GLP-1 injection.
Right.
Yes.
You had to get off of that because the breast tissue had to remain a certain size. So you can't go back to losing weight. So you have to stay this weight now. And you were on hormone therapy. Is that correct?
I was on, hormone replacement therapy. And I was on Trulicity, Ozempic before that, not because so much as a weight loss. Yes, the weight loss was a good part of that, but I'm insulin resistant and I have Slanja and I have metabolic syndrome, which makes it harder to lose weight. So I was on this and then I had to stop it prior to the surgeries because it slows down the motility of the gut and you could aspirate during surgery. Then when I went to go back on it, my insurance company changed the entire formulary and said, no, we're sorry. We're not going to cover that. And then my doctor's like, You can't lose weight right now. So I've gained all of the 35 pounds, well, 30 of it back since April, because it just, that's not that I eat anymore. I guess I will admit I did some comfort eating, but not like I was eating everything. It's just my metabolism is messed up enough that it has gained it all back. But yet I'm not allowed to lose it because it'll change these markings. So
I must be real with everyone here. I mean, I'm just gonna say this, and I love you. Ginger was called me up and was really upset. I mean, it is this constant up and down and ebb and flow, and I mean, it is a journey. So people, when you know people, don't be afraid to ask them the questions.
yeah,
And again, if they sometimes ask them, it's really important. Ask them, what do you need from me? Do you need for me to be just a listening ear? Do you need for me to give some support, some advice? What do you need from me? And yes, it's effing scary. It's effing scary. Michelle says, Ginger, just an FYI, you might want to check out Unpetroleum Jelly. It's sold at Sprouts and Whole Paycheck, Whole Foods. It has the consistency of petroleum jelly without the petroleum. And
yeah.
guys, let me tell you something. Petroleum is a carcinogenic. We taught that at massage school. Petroleum is a carcinogenic, which I don't understand.
Why they're
Why?
recommending me put it on
Why
my,
do we put that on babies?
why would they put it on babies, and why are they recommending me to put it on breasts that they remove my cancer from? So
I don't get it.
I don't get it. But the reason for the petroleum, the aquaphor, is moisture. They want to keep you moist. They want to keep you
Moist. I
moist.
love the word moist.
Moist. Yeah.
Moist.
It's almost
It's
Jewish in
moist.
some ways, and loving my Jewish people that are on here. It's moist. It's moist.
Moist. I
Yeah.
like the word moist. Like a good cake, it has to be moist.
It has to be
See?
moist.
Moist.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
So
It's good.
but someone else on here said they were 10-year breast 5 years ago.
Yes.
Kathleen, I am a breast cancer survivor of 10 years. That's my goal. I want to be a breast cancer survivor until I can't, my body gives up and I'm done for this life. And hopefully that's 80 or 90 years of age. But I am everything is out. And my biggest concern was that it was going to come back. So all of the cancer is out. I just have to irradiate the rest of everything. But talking about, it's been so quiet, and Elias, bless his heart, and a couple of other people that are on here today talking. Elias calls me 2 and 3 times a day. And now he's going to make me emotional. If, that was so, just a text message to say, are you okay? And sometimes I'd answer back, yes, when I really wasn't. But at least he's sorry. But, but him asking me made it better. Him asking me how I was doing made it so much better. And just a text message. Yeah, most people, we are not taught in this society to deal with trauma of people, to deal with grief of people passing away, to deal with these things. And you don't have to sit and listen to an earful of stuff. Some people just can't handle it. Some people just can't handle to hear that you're going through pain or hear you're going through things. So if you can't, just text that person and say, just thinking about you today. Hope everything's okay. I mean, my phone rang at 7:00 this morning, and it was one of my mentors that I did my flower essences with. I consider her a sister. She felt that I was not doing okay. And, but what she said to me and did, was, of course, I told her, no, I'm all right. And then I texted her back and said, I lied. No, I'm not okay today. It's just been rough. And, so it's that. It's been quiet.
And this journey, Ginger, this journey for everyone to know, I think it's really important, very important, that it could possibly be a book that you could write about. I saw the rolling of the eyes. Just because I'm focusing on my Greek eyebrow, I saw the rolling of the eyes, Missy. You have the knowledge, the medical knowledge. You have the intuitive knowledge. Listen to me, Missy. You have the medical knowledge, the intuitive knowledge, and you have the alternative medicine type knowledge you can blend all that and you could help so many people because you lived it. And you can say that these are suggestions. These are suggestions. That would be a book that would sell so well, Ginger, and really truly to give people the knowledge of here's some questions to ask. People are looking and looking. You can write about this journey
Mm.
and you could heal through that writing. And just a
Oh,
suggestion.
people
Just a
suggest I have a
suggestion.
hard time. I have a hard time writing that out. I would have to have somebody help me write that out. I
Who
have
would
a
help you?
to write that out. I
Someone
would,
on someone on here that's listening could help you write that out.
somebody on here that's listening could help me write that
They,
out.
they could.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. Yeah, you do have to ask the questions. You do have to ask the questions, and it does get really quiet. And I think what I want to just let everybody know that if you have a friend or someone that's going through something, regardless, and I'm not scolding anybody or saying anything because it is something. Well, what do you say to her? What do one day I went and had my radiation done. This was before I didn't get any last Friday because the global IT, the computer was down, so I couldn't get my radiation last Friday. So I'm backed up an extra day that I have to go.
Right.
Louise over here would have been done on Friday, but now I had to finish her off today. So it's bumped everything forward a little bit. But I just needed, and my husband is doing the best job he knows how. He's doing an amazing. He has been stellar. I couldn't ask for a better husband. But I had my radiation last Thursday, I think, and I walked down to the unit that I worked on because I needed a hug. I just
Hmm.
needed a hug. So,
And Liz says here, I know people are afraid to pick up the phone during crisis.
mhm.
So, and I told Ginger, the very first thing I told Ginger, I said, my heart's with you, and there will be days where I don't know what to say. And she said, sometimes it's just good to know you're there. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So just pick up the phone, people, or text or say, what can I do for you? Or I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. You're in my prayers, and tell me what you need,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you'll have people like Ginger that'll say, I'm fine.
That's
I don't
fine.
need
I don't
anything.
need
I'm
anything.
fine.
You can mail
And
me
we
a
all know
birthday cake.
you could and we
Every
all know what fine is. We all know that fine means effed up, insecure, neurotic, and evasive,
yes,
especially
yes,
that last one.
yes. We know what that
Um,
is. Yes.
Raina says, Ginger, my heart is with you. My boyfriend's colon cancer has caused a few surgeries over the last year, and now every week he's losing more weight. God bless Raina. Because food doesn't have much room to go through. Every day is a day. We're still working as well. I'm going to get a little teary here. We're still working as much as we can. And speaking of dealing with death, you're spot on. I think you said
Dad.
it says my dead died, dead. So I'm sure it's like dad. 8 weeks ago. God bless. May his memory be eternal in your heart, Raina. Truly. And Bonnie says, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in the 60s. I
Mm,
remember there being shame around the subject. She had a radical mastectomy and it was a butcher job. My sister's a 20-year breast cancer survivor and wrote a book called The Upside to Everything, Even Breast Cancer, about her journey with great resources.
yeah,
That's awesome,
yeah.
Bonnie. Diana says this would be great. Tonight I'll be passing that using petroleum to my friend's mom who's going through radiation too. Thank you.
Well,
Joanne says you could start with recording. Liz says
yeah,
so surreal. I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 It is. Yeah. If with your friend with the not using the petroleum, just I'm recommending what I'm using. Just make sure that they clear that with their radiology oncologist because some of them, luckily, I have a young, beautiful radiology oncologist that's open-minded, and I just fired my primary care physician today, so oopsie. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's on vacation and doesn't even know it yet. So
He's listening to the recording.
Yes,
Okay.
he's listening to the recording. But just make sure you clear that. I mean, if you want, you can email me and ask me what I used, and I can send you the recipe that I found on the internet. So I have to credit whoever it was that I found that calendula and the aloe vera on the internet. But always make sure anything that you do, because the skin is such a, that radiation. I mean, you can't even use, oh God, this is the other thing. You understand? Here's a little tidbit. You shouldn't use deodorant with aluminum in it anyway. But for some of us going through hormone imbalances and we're all over the board, some stuff just doesn't work for me unless there's like aluminum in it. And the aluminum, that's another thing. Don't use it. It's okay to use it. Don't use it. It's okay to use it.
Right.
Nobody can make up their mind. It's just whose practice it is and what they want their patients to do. But if I don't use the aluminum, yeah,
Not pretty.
nobody was
And
around. And
you were
lube doesn't
saying
work. Yeah, go ahead.
so people know, a year ago, you were having itchy underarms
Yes.
for a year, you said, right?
Over a year, I was getting this itch like right here in my underarm, and I would thought it was my deodorant. So I was changing all these deodorants, and I couldn't figure out what it is. Well, that is one of the silent signs of get a mammogram, because there's a possibility, just a possibility, not freaking anybody out, just informing, that itch is not normal. It's not red. There was no redness. There was no bumps. There was nothing other than an under the skin itch that wouldn't go away. And that I read was a sign of breast cancer. So,
And as Julie said, her husband, who had passed, had breast cancer. So it's not just women,
no,
everybody.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, this is important stuff. So you have your ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
You go through emotional up and down. You
Poor husband.
had your right. And how would you tell somebody, what would you tell somebody now going through this, we'll say this second stage that you're going through? What would you say if they got the diagnoses? What would you say for them to do?
Well, what would I say if they got diagnosed? There's so much you can say if someone gets diagnosed. One, I hope to hell that you have a good family around you, good friends, a good partner that understands. I have read so many women on this Facebook page that their husbands, after they had their mastectomies, couldn't even look at them anymore. And yet Brad told me it doesn't matter as long as you're alive. If you have to take them off, then they have to take them off. I was more concerned about him coming off than he was. So get a lot of information, do a lot of reading, ask a lot of questions, ask people, talk to people that have had it. What would I say? Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to be human. Have those moments. I mean, I had it's like when you've lost, when you find out you have breast cancer and you're going to go through, you go through the same stages with breast cancer as you would for going through the loss of a loved one. You're going to be sad. You're going to cry. You're going to be angry. You're going to go through all those stages of grief with this. And there's no one, you're not going to go through it in order. If you think anybody ever goes through grief or some type of life-changing event in the order of the book, that's bullshit. There's no way, because everybody reacts differently. Finds people to talk to. I have a couple of people I talk to. Lisa Nolan Chalowski is one that I don't want to bother her, but she said bother me. So
right.
I will call her. I know, like you, I will call her and going, I'm having a really shitty day today, and this is what I'm feeling. And she will redirect me, and I allow her to redirect me. There's some people that I don't allow them to redirect me, because if you don't know me very well, I'm not going to allow you to redirect me. I'll go, okay, thank you. And a lot of people want to tell you it's going to be okay. You'll be fine. So you don't want to hear it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. You want to be allowed to feel I'm not okay. It's not fine. And maybe when I get there, it'll be okay. And maybe when I know that I'm clear of this, it'll be fine. But in that point, people want, you don't waller in it. Yeah, well, you need to waller in it because this is a process that you have to go through. This has quieted me down. This has given me a lot of solitude. This has allowed me to look at myself and, oh God, we don't want to look at ourselves. We don't want to have that mirror in front of us and have to look back at ourselves and realize that, there are things we still need to work on. There are processes on me for spiritually that I still need to work on. So ask questions, get good, find a good doctor. If you don't like your doctor, guess what? They're all human. They all have different personalities. If they don't blend with you, you don't have to keep them. You can change a doctor. You need to be able to talk to somebody that understands you and gets you and does what you want. If it doesn't, then change. Because they're only hindering you and your healing if they're constantly battling you and telling you you're wrong. So what else?
And I think, Ginger, you bring up a really good point, because when people automatically say, "Don't worry, you're going to be okay, you're going to be fine," I, I take that to mean that they don't know what to say,
Exactly.
and being uncomfortable, they
Exactly.
want to say something positive, and they mean it from their heart. They
Absolutely.
really do, but
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
don't know what to say. And I think, you and a couple other people, I said, and you guys might want to say this, I said, we'll get through this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get through this together. We'll get through this. I am here for you. I told Ginger, I said, if you really want me to, I'll fly out. I'll fly out and come sit with you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, John will let me do that. John will be like, go, go. And
Get
then
out.
Ginger said, she didn't, I'm kidding. Ginger said, oh, good. Why don't you send John instead? That way he can organize everything.
He's a good organizer. He really is.
He's a
I've
great
never
organizer.
seen anything so organized as John. And then I had that chance to come to Washington next month, or to Oregon, up to the Skamania for the Celebrate Your Life. I really,
Skinny
really,
for
really,
Celebrate Your Life, right?
really wanted to do that. Really, really wanted to do that. Then I had to be realistic and realize that I'm going to be a couple of days post radiation. I am going to be exhausted. I'm going to be burned. I'm going to be tired. As much as I need to get out, I don't think I'm going to be very good company. I don't think, even though Elias has generously offered for me to stay at his house
Right.
and sleep and not have to go anywhere and do anything, I'm still going to need some nature. I'm still going to need out, and it's too hot here right now to do that. I've done some night photography stuff, but that got me down, because then I had that realization I'm not going to be able to go and do that, and I really, really wanted to be able to go and do that. But I had to be realistic and go, Ginger, you're going to push yourself. COVID's coming back around. Your immune system's going to be challenged. You don't need to put yourself in a situation where you could get sick on top of this.
No,
And
you don't want to get sick.
so,
And
I
this COVID, this round of COVID, which I've already had, everybody, this round of COVID was bad. It
mhm.
was I am boosted, I am all that stuff, and it was bad. It was every day was a different symptom. I lost my smell and taste for a day. I was dizzy for a day. I had horrible, horrible
Mhm.
cramps, and then the sinuses hurt. It was a bad one, and the cough lingered. I was negative
You
a
were
week and a
you
half
were a bit
after.
negative, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. You're funny. You're funny. See, she hasn't lost it. She hasn't lost it.
Pow.
Right?
Yeah.
Um, yes, Joanne, God bless. God bless. Bonnie said, when my sister was first diagnosed, she got 3 different opinions as to what treatment she could go through. She also said she had always to take a trusted person and a second set of ears, as when you're faced with a diagnosis,
Oh,
you
yeah.
may not want to be hearing how you need to. Exactly.
Because
I would.
you don't hear, even me, if I would leave and be like, what did they say? Because you're just it's so overwhelming. Even for me, it was so overwhelming.
And if you can't take somebody, guys, pick up the phone and take the phone with you. Put them on speaker. let them be your eyes and
Yeah.
ears,
Yeah.
and that's allowed. That's
Yeah.
allowed to do. You have to be your own advocate,
Oh,
everybody.
absolutely.
So true.
Had I not, remember we talked about this, had I not been my advocate, I'd probably be a month behind on this process because I was my own advocate. I went off and got my own mammogram, even though because my PCP at the time had put me off for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm not waiting 2 weeks to find out what this is. I know what this is. I'm
Right.
gonna, so luckily I pushed. Luckily I caught it because the one in my right side, I mean, I had a 2.1 centimeter mass in my right breast. And because of the weight loss, thank God, I was able to find it because we all know when you have dense breasts, well, not all of us, some of us, I don't know, Elias, if you know, when you have
I do.
dense boobies, that is
Yeah.
hard to feel those things. So, anyway, but I just want, I keep saying I just want to get back to normal, but I don't know what my normal is going to be. Life has changed. I have changed. Things have changed. So I don't know what my new normal is going to be. I'm looking that it's going to be positive,
Right.
but I don't know what my new normal is going to be. So
And that's why Ginger wanted to do this live, everybody, because she wanted to reach out. She wanted to give everybody an update. And Ginger's a very social person. She likes to see people's comments and she likes to read comments and she likes to interact. And she was saying that I don't interact with her, anybody. And so thank you for also having the chutzpah to be able to talk about this things that you've been going through. It's really, and keep the updates coming because I know. First of all, does anybody has this helped you guys? Does anybody have any
yeah, the
questions for
question,
Ginger?
has this helped anybody? I'd love to hear it, or if my rambling has just been rambling.
You're not rambling. You're not rambling.
Oh, trust me, the menopause brain that's coming back. I have, yeah.
Chris says, I'm so glad you came on. Thank you. Lori says,
Welcome, Chris.
prayers for you. Self care for you and the family, says Raina. Yeah, I'm just getting, oh gosh, getting over COVID day 7. Lori, thank you. Oh, hi, Priscilla. Yeah, so it's a lot. Bonnie says, I think some women want to believe that since breast cancer doesn't run in their family, they won't get it. I think it's 80%, maybe higher than that, have no history in the family.
No one on my mother's side of the family had breast cancer. My biological father's side of the family had more prostate cancer, which is a precursor, by the way. If you have on your paternal side, your father's side of the family, if you have a lot of prostate cancer, that can set you up for breast cancer. And then I did have like 3 half sisters with breast cancer, but I had a genetic workup from a geneticist, and they said that the paternal side wasn't as much as I had no family history of breast cancer. Every other cancer you can think of under the sun, but none of them related to breast cancer. Mine was age. Mine was probably the fact that I took birth control for many, many years, probably the fact that I was on hormone replacement therapy over a certain age that I pushed a little bit. So no, if you don't think, I mean, one, I think, which is really stupid, they say a screening mammogram at the age of 40, and that if you reach 40, you should have your first mammogram. But yet, when I'm looking at all these women on these Facebook pages that have cancer, and this is not to scare anybody, this is just a knowledge that's necessary. They're in their 20s and 30s. That have with no family history. So something somewhere, I'm going to say mine was more environmental and hormone related. I have a lot of women I know that have or had breast cancer with no family history. It's environmental. I mean, we do get a lot of hormones in our food on a daily basis. So eating better, a plant-based diet, if you're going to eat meat, hormone free, everything is injected with hormones. And the amount of breast cancer that I'm finding is like, holy shit. I did not realize how bad it really is. So like Bonnie, like you said, it doesn't take a family history. It takes doing doing your, a lot of people don't want to touch their boobs. Women are like, oh, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, because of this, and I have touched my boobs now more than I have ever touched my boobs. And I never thought I would ever pay that much
Right. Sure.
attention to my breasts. But it's important because you need to know what they feel like. You need to know what they look like. You need to understand all of the stuff and do your research and read and know, what do breasts look like? An orange peel, a dimpling when you raise your arm. It may just be a little fibrocystic cyst of some sort. Don't put it off. I didn't put it off. I went the minute I found it. It just happened to
Right.
show up after weight loss, which we all know the first place we lose our weight when women lose weight is in our breast. So it doesn't have to have a family history. And if you think you find something and your doctor won't do a mammogram, find somebody that will.
Bonnie says, I'm sorry, we talked about Bonnie. Sorry about that, Bonnie. Joanne says, did you receive any feedback about being on hormone therapy?
From my physicians,
Mm-hmm.
it did say that it put me at a higher risk. I was taking it over the age of 60.
Okay.
Because I'd been having premenopausal and menopausal symptoms since the age of 50. And I was tired of the hot flashes. Now I go through them all the time. I would think something was wrong with me if I didn't break out in a hot flash, but because I have so many of them right now. But yeah.
Okay.
They didn't point a finger and say that you did, this is what caused, because you did this is what caused it. It just said that is one of the things that can cause it, is taking hormone replacement therapy.
Beth says, you are my hero. Thank you. You have helped me. I will be calling you. Beth, please do so. Please do so.
Yeah.
So Diana says, oh, wow, I'm 49 and never had a mammogram. Definitely scheduling one. Please do.
I expect to have a message through Facebook Messenger. Diana said you did. Yeah, you should have everyone at the age of 40. Your insurance will cover a screening at 40.
Yeah.
Go get it done.
Abby wants to know how painful are.
Yeah. Go ahead.
How painful are mammograms?
They're not painful. It's I laugh. I joke around with them when they're doing it because, think about these women have to squeeze boobs all day long, right. and boobs come in all different size, shapes, and colors. So it's not painful. It is a compression and that they go this way and then they go this way. And it's the funny, the first time I ever had one, I was not very big and I was giggling saying, I think you're only going to be able to get my nipple on that plate because I don't know how she goes, oh, wait, honey, I'll get it in there. She's pulling and squeezing. It's not uncomfortable. They're not painful. They're not going to.
And don't be afraid not to share, guys, with with people that, the medical staff. I mean, they're doing their job every day. They want a little humor. Let me tell you guys, a little TMI here, but we're talking about stuff. So I had to get an ultrasound because when I had my issue from the colonoscopy therapy, they're like, we have to, check everything out. So she's putting the gel on and she's doing the ultrasound. And I said, just please let me know if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah. They have, the ultrasound techs see stuff on a daily basis. I mean, I watched them. I finally had the one at the breast center. I go to MD Anderson, the breast center, and she was doing my follow-up one where they were going to try to place another clip. And they go in by ultrasound and they go in by a needle biopsy and they place a clip where the tumor's at so that when the surgery happens, the surgeon can find it. They can find it by the clip, by the x-ray, and they can follow and they can remove it by that clip. And
the clips go inside the skin.
Inside the tissue. They literally put it right
just
where
so people know.
Yeah. It's by a little bitty wire needle and they put it in. They're very microscopic and they put them in just right next to the tissue so they can find them on x-ray and find them so that when they go to get it, they take what they're supposed to take out. And then I was watching her and I'm talking and I said, so people stare at you while you're doing this? She goes, oh my God. They try, when I'm doing ultrasounds of breast and women are worried, they are staring at me looking for my slight. She goes, they're burning the side of my face off, watching me to see if I have a expression like, ooh,
Right.
or looking for something, because they can't legally say a word.
Right.
I asked one the first time I had one done. I said, "Can I see?" She goes, "Oh no, you can't see this." I said, "Why can't I see it?" She said, "Well, it's HIPAA. You can't." I go, "It's my boob. It's not like you're showing me my neighbor's boob. It's my boob. Why can't I see it?" "No, can't let you see it." And then the second one I went with, the girl who said her side of her face was being, they were going to place all those clips. I said, "Can I watch?" And she's like, "Sure." And they numb you up when you do it, so you don't feel anything other than the numbing. And she said, "Sure." And she turned me where I could see, and I actually got to watch where everything was and watch them place the clips. And I got a really good understanding, but her saying that so ultrasound techs and x-ray techs, people will stare at them because they want to know. And legally they can't say a word because they're not the physician. They're not supposed to tell you anything. But so their stress level is up here because they can see your cancer. They can see what's there. So I joke with them. I drew happy faces on my boobs when I went in. So just to give them something to look at, to make as a because they all look different. So, put glitter, like little stars and glitter, something that'll come off easy, and give them something to look at, because it's a stressful world in the medical field anymore.
Yeah.
So, if you joke with them, they'll let their guard down and they'll talk with you more. And then the whole procedure is lighter and less stressful, even though they can't tell you anything. At least you can kind of joke around with them, so.
Danielle says she makes jokes all the time. That's good. That's
I
good.
mean, even the radiologist, when they went to put on the scrub, she said, "This stuff smells really bad, so we're going to test your COVID and see if you can smell this." I mean, she was joking. So you have to, because of COVID, because what happened with people during COVID, and because of the medical field, so many people quit. Some of the most amazing physicians and doctors and doctors and nurses and techs got so overwhelmed and so stressed from COVID, they left the field of some of the best, long-standing, most knowledgeable people in the medical field left because they couldn't deal with the stress anymore. So now we have some are coming back, and then we have this new breed of people that are coming in. So you've got to kind of teach them how to be human, because of nobody knows how to interact and look you in the eye anymore. So
is that a new case? Looks very nice.
It can't be too nice. It's all kind of beat up. No, it's a leather. It's leather. I have a leather.
Leather. You didn't have a leather one before.
No, I have. Yeah, I've had it a year. Where have you been? Where have you been? And with my leather.
I mean, basically, I haven't really physically seen you since we took our trip to Florida in April.
Yeah. Going back in February, are you?
I don't know. Are we?
I'm thinking about it.
All right, let's talk about that.
I'm thinking, we need to talk about that. Sorry, everybody, rambling on, but yeah. Who else? Did I talk too much, y'all?
No, you were amazing. You were amazing. What do you feel? I was going to make a bad joke, but I'm not going to.
No, you can make a bad joke. Go for it.
Okay. What do you feel about this? Dulax.
That's a good one. It'll be perfect.
I just like making you laugh. Dulax.
Yes, it'll get the job done.
Opalax.
Yeah, it'll get the job done, but only if it has to have water to do so. So it doesn't work by itself. Prism pens.
Yeah, look at the blue.
Tell you what I thought that said.
And then this.
I can't tell you what I thought that said.
You can't.
No.
Look at green.
Wow.
Really cool. Anyway, I know. Look, squirrel. And speaking of squirrel, Chris Wright from Iowa.
Oh, you have a squirrel. That's perfect.
Cute.
I have my animals are back up there. I have my animals.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Very cute. Danielle says, thank you so much for sharing this. Vacation for all of us. We're Ormond Beach, Florida. Ormond Beach, Florida, Raina. any last minute thoughts? Anyone? Questions?
And yeah, any last minute thoughts or questions for me, you guys?
Denise says I won't tell you what I thought. That's it either. You're
Was
funny.
it, was it, did it look like the word penis? I'm just going to just say it. When you brought up that thing, I thought the word penis was on that box. Yeah. Initially, I thought it said prism. Yeah. And you just need an I between the N and the S.
Raina says another good thing after surgery is warm prune juice. Also to have a step stool near a toilet.
Warm prune juice, actually, if you're constipated, you can mix half ginger ale and half warm prune juice.
And it tastes like Dr. Pepper.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper. And it works. We use that in labor and delivery all the time. Yes. We use that in labor and delivery. So you see, Denise, she saw the same thing. I thought it said prism penis. Oh, I've been locked away way too much.
I love when you laugh.
I think I lost Liz Dawn. She's not making any more comments. Thank you, Liz, for being on here. I saw all her comments. Thank you, everybody, for the prayers. I haven't had a chance to read everything. I'm going to be just fine eventually. That's
you're
how
going to be better than you're going to be better than fine.
I am. Eventually, I am. But I have to go through the process, and it is an interesting process. So,
and please keep us updated. Everyone, did you appreciate this talk today? I think getting Ginger to talk more about this really helps heal so many people and gives education, and we're all about educating. So please encourage her to do this more as she goes on her journey.
How long have we been on now? I've lost track.
Almost an hour.
Is it?
Raina says so good today. Yeah, sure. Thank you both. Hug, speak gentle. Oh, Ginger wants to do what she used to do on here. Is she wants to
I'm going to pull a card for the group. Yeah.
Okay. Can I just and I'm going to pull one too with you. And let me share with you. I don't know if you got to see, Ginger, what Amanda brought on retreat. Look at this.
Connect, educate, grow, rediscover your authentic self. That's awesome.
But look, it's awesome. A little glittery.
Ooh, like the glittery.
I know. I said, does this shirt make me gay?
I'm not sure. Hey, by the way, Sonia Choquette redid her Ask Your Guides. If anybody's ever used her cards before, she redid them.
Oh, I like
she
that.
Updated it up and added some new ones. They're very pretty.
You have a question. Abby says, do you recommend any kind of deodorant?
Oh, Abby, hi. You didn't join late. You can always go back and look. So I recommend, it depends. Everybody's different on how they handle their stuff. So aluminum free is always something that has been pushed at and done. There's like one called Native that people are using. Also,
yes, Native is. I've used that.
The Native. I mean, you're going to get the aluminum stops the sweating, and so an antiperspirant is what you don't want to use. An antiperspirant. You want to use a deodorant. So. We should sweat. We should get those toxins out. We should not stop those toxins from coming out. And that's what antiperspirants do, is it blocks us from sweating from our sweat glands and our armpits. So use it if you have to go somewhere and you don't want to sweat where people physically see it, like a wedding or, somewhere where everybody's looking at your pits. But otherwise, Native and Lume works for a lot of people. The Lumi. Yeah, and then Secret has one that is a aluminum free one that seems to work pretty good. That's what we've been using.
And men can use Secret too, guys.
Yes,
it's not just for women.
It's not just.
I like it too. Oh no, that's.
So, are you saying that your armpits smell powder fresh, Elias? Is that what you're saying?
Powder fresh.
That's one of the. That's one of the scents of Secret. Powder fresh.
Powder fresh.
Yeah.
Yes. So show the cover again so everybody knows.
Ask you guys, Sonia Choquette. It's her new deck that she came out with just recently, and it was the first deck I ever bought.
Smart.
Yes.
Oh, I like this one. Okay. And I'll pull a card too. I'm going to pull from Denise Lynn, who's going to be at Skamania in
Oh,
August, the Time Traveler's Oracle. You don't have one? I thought you had this one.
no, I have it. I just don't get to see Denise.
Oh, you don't get to see Denise. Yeah, I know.
I have that deck.
I know. I love the book Ask Your Guides.
Yes.
Crystal mineral deodorant is good choice. Okay,
Yes.
good to know.
Yes.
All right, do you want to go first? Pick
I
a
just
card.
pulled one for everybody.
I'm just pulling one for everybody too.
Isn't this pretty? Success.
All
about success. So it's like, I think that's a pomegranate, and pomegranate has a lot of sacred meaning right there. So pomegranate is about the heart. It's all about the heart. It's about the energy of the heart and keeping your heart open, keeping that self-love. I think if you keep your heart open and you have a lot of self-love and you keep a positive attitude, which it can be a struggle from times, but I really work very, very hard to keep a positive attitude. And I think that you'll achieve success. I think that's for everybody to look at today. So,
and the card that I have is strength. Really, really go beyond. You can go beyond because you do have the strength within. You do have it. And don't ever underestimate. Sometimes when you think you can't any longer, something happens where you just, it's just there. Let me tell you, some of you know my story. When my mom passed away and I told my dad that was in a nursing home that his wife of 52 years passed. And then the day of the wake, I got a phone call that my dad was bleeding internally. My dad was in an induced coma is what you want to say.
yeah.
And he was there, and I didn't know if I was going to lose him or not. I didn't know how I could get through that funeral, through that wake and funeral. But something within me, something that my parents instilled in me that I got through, I had to represent the family. And it was something that I know that if I can live through that, I can live through anything. You are learning so much, Ginger. I should go this way. You are learning so much, Ginger, about all the strength that you have.
Yeah,
So,
I have my mother to if I'm half the woman that my mother and my grandmother were. I watched my grandmother die of pancreatic cancer. I don't think I ever saw her show any of it. That stoic Scottish, she never really showed anything. The same with my mom. She was laughing and giggling pretty much up until she died. She tried to stay so positive. So I have that example in my life to be grateful for, that strength. And I'll make it through this. I know I'm going to make it through this. It just sucks. So honestly, it just sucks sometimes. But yeah. And you
but the
have
most important thing,
ass bras all the time because you can't wear a regular bra, by the way. There's this zip front support bra. I wore a bra 24/7 for a month. Not something I like, but I made it through it. So,
and that's something that Ginger wanted everybody to know, is that to reach out for the support that you need. So important. So important. Thanks everybody for being on here. And Ginger, thank you for letting me co-host this with you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship, your siblinghood, if you will, your soul siblinghood. And be grateful for you. And as always, guys,
from our hearts
to
yours. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. I'm waiting for her